Hello, welcome to the Honest Wargamer. I'm your host, Rob. I'm joined by the Twitch chat, and this is the Age of Sigmar Stat Center, where we look at the event results that have happened over the weekend. Pretty cool. We've got 11 events that happen this weekend. We're only going to be able to bring you information from 9 of them, and they do happen from all around the world. We've got an event in China, Finland, Scotland, Australia, USA. So a really kind of diverse mix of different communities engaged. And I thought I would hit you out with some real simple stats to start us off, because I think this is our 10th week of maybe doing the stat show, maybe the 9th week. But either way, we're very, very early into the edition. And that isn't what a lot of people on the internet are going to be saying. A lot of people are going to say the edition is solved, this army is broken, etc., etc. And we've got all that information already available for you on the honestwargamer.com. And if you go click our stats tab, you can find out information that the much better than me, Rob, collects and we put out as data, so you can start to see how the armies are performing. But the thing that, this is the 10th week of the stats center, or the 10th weekend of events. But I wanted to be really clear with you about what everyone else's position is and how everyone else is playing. Just to start the show off really quickly, I wanted maybe make this a separate video, but I'm going to do it here because I think it makes the most sense. What I'm trying to say is no one has played the game. Nobody has played the game. Let's start out with a poll that I did on Twitter. You have to remember that I've been making content about Age of Sigmar now for nearly 8 years, and obviously covering multiple World Team Championships, running events and doing live coverage of competitive tournaments all across the world. Most of my Twitter followers skew towards the competitive end of Age of Sigmar. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, therefore, my audience is going to trend very heavily, not just into casual Age of Sigmar, but into the competitive Age of Sigmar market. And that said, with this poll taken 10 weeks after launch, I said, how many of you have played 2,000 point match play games? How many games? And 52% of the people said less than 6. Only 16% of the people said more than 16. I did notice that I made it so you couldn't actually put 7, 8, and 9 in. That's pretty funny. But we'll ignore that for a minute. It means that over half, more than half of the people who play competitive Age of Sigmar, or at least the people who follow me who play competitive Age of Sigmar, have got less than 6 games in, 10 weeks in. So that should really start to give you an indication of how little people get to play, even the people who play lots of games. So the next follow-up question is competitive Age of Sigmar not actually doing very well? Well, that's also not true either, because thanks to Rob, we have the information that's let us know that over the first 8 weeks, we had 60 events and 1,789 unique different players from around the world. So that number will massively increase. Towards the end of 3rd edition, that went up to something like 3.5, and we were nearly at 4,000 unique players. Also, 4,000 unique players at the end of 3rd edition. Most people now are still building, painting, and learning how to play the game. So the reason I wanted to start the show off with this information is I want to tell you, go and play games. Stop reading internet forums. Stop being told what's good and not good. You don't have any idea. Sure, Rockguts are super strong, and Sentinels and a bunch of other units are very strong. They're very, very strong. But they're always going to be strong. Well, they're not always going to be strong, but you're only going to get better at playing the game if you go put those models on the board. Go do that. Do it at 500 points. Do it at 1,000 points. Just go put those models on the board. Because if you get 7 games in, you're going to be playing more games than 50% of the audience. Okay, so just go and have a good time. I just wanted to start the stat show off with that. I want you to know that loads of people are playing competitive Age of Sigmar, but people aren't playing much because it's really hard to do 3-hour games, etc. So go get those games in. And if you also want me to back up this story, go back and watch last week's Stat Center, where I asked people to tell me how many games they played as well. And you can see at the bottom, everyone was replying in the YouTube comments. You can reply in the YouTube comments as well. Like, I haven't played yet. I'm going to play soon. I'm building my army. I'm just new into Age of Sigmar. I'm just doing those things. So what I'm saying is, you're all going to have a great time. I like the game. I think Age of Sigmar 4 is my favorite version of Age of Sigmar. Go play it. Go have a good time. Like all the people we're about to talk about, and then go enjoy yourself, because it's really fun, and no one is really playing like loads. So you got loads of time to like not catch up, but jump in at the same place everyone else is at. So go enjoy yourself. Let's go look at the event results. Okay, we're off to look at the first event of our 10 events that we're going to be covering. This is taking place in England at Warhammer World. They had 59 players battling out at the incredibly poorly named Age of Sigmar Grand Tournament Golden Ticket event. Pretty basic as a name. I'd like you all to step up your naming of your events, please, because that's pretty rubbish. It was one of those golden ticket events, which I consider to be a pyramid scheme, which deprives communities of money and resources. So I'm not a fan or support the golden ticket system at all. I think it's actually one of the most detrimental things to happen to the competitive Age of Sigmar scene since launch. But it's there, I guess. And Nicholas Tassone, who won the golden ticket event that they have last year, who then wasn't given funding to go back this year, traveled over to the UK from France, and then was able to win the event, therefore securing him funding, as this is the only one where Games Workshop will actually pay funding because you have to fly to Atlanta and like book hotels and travel and accommodation and take like 4 days off work, 5 days off work. So anyway, he was able to get it, which is great for him. And he's lovely. And also, hilariously, his club name is a dick joke. And that's funny. And always will be. Anyway, his list is a Slaves to Darkness list. And uniquely, this is his second tournament win with this list, is a Slaves to Darkness God's Wrath Warband list with a Manifestation Law of the Primal Energy, so not the Morbi Kunj. And then he has Archeon the Everchosen over Be'lakor, a unit of Chaos Furies, 2 units of Dark Oath Fell Riders, and a Raptorix. And then he's got Chaos Sorcerer Lord, a unit of Reinforced Chaos Chosen, and that's his entire list, which is very cool. And again, very uniquely him. He's the only person in the world who has been running this so far, or an Archeon list. I think maybe that we've had one other Archeon win. Normally you see Be'lakor instead, but this is his second win with Archeon, which is incredibly cool. Obviously, he's got the ability to fight twice with the Chosen. He's got the ability to see who's going to get the next turn, which is so useful for being able to plan out battle tactics, which the Fell Riders, the Furies, and the Raptorix are really good at, or plan in just murdering his opponent, which Archeon and the Chosen are also excellent at as well. So a cool guy with a great list, working really hard to keep himself at that top end of the game. Well done to him. As well as our fantastic winner, we had a bunch of people who got 5 wins and 1 loss, including Michael Stewart of Team England with his Lumineth Realmlords. He was running the Huracan Temple, and his Manifestation Law was the Morbi Kunj. He was running Techless, a Reinforced unit of Wind Chargers, a Reinforced unit of Sentinels, a Wind Mage, 2 Wind Spirits, and a unit of River Blades. This is a fairly common build right now. Lots of people in the Lumineth Realmlords community pretty angry about Techless. They love him or they hate him, but either way, obviously very excellent here. Those Wind Chargers, insane. Sentinels, also insane. And then to top it all off, the Spirits of the Wind, maybe even more insane. Their ability to hold objectives, move around the board. If you haven't experienced it on the tabletop, just get some bases out and start moving them around the board and really start to experience how truly insane that is. Well done to Mike. Then Benjamin Sava with Soulblight Gravelords was running the Death March battle formation. They had Neferata in the General's Regiment with a reinforced unit of Graveguard, which is an amazing combat piece. A Mortis Engine for his next regiment with 3 units of non-reinforced Deadwalker zombies. Then a Necromancer, and then 2 units of Black Knights and a unit of Fellbats. Fellbats you can't leave home without. I know it's kind of weird to focus on the cheapest unit in the book, but for 90 points or even 2 units of Fellbats, they're going to score you all of the battle tactics that you need while always threatening objectives. And while your opponent tries to push 10 Chosen to kill out 3 Fellbats, the other 3 can be grabbing an objective, so really excellent. And Benjamin obviously here utilizing a lot of multiple small units here to be in all the different places across the board, so well done to him. Then James Hullance was running Nighthorn in Deathstalkers. His Manifestation Law was the Morbi Kunj. He was running Lloydie Alinda, a reinforced unit of Bladegeist Revenants, 2 units of Drayblade Harrows, a Lord Executioner, which is really good, Reikenor the Grimhailer, a reinforced unit of Bladegeist Revenants, a unit of Chain Gas, and a unit of Hexwraiths. You can just run anything in Nighthorn, and it's good. But those 2 units of Dreadblade Harrows, again, let's reinforce this actually as we go through the list that did well. Dreadblade Harrows, excellent for doing battle tactics, board edges, getting in the middle of the board, grabbing pieces of terrain, grabbing people's objectives. One of the problems with leaving all of your objectives and going to hit their objectives is you leave your objectives and units can teleport around the board and grab your objectives can also do it. So they're excellent. Every army that does well that has these little units in it. Then we got Joe Jackson. We love Joe Jackson. Can we just get a shout out for Joe Jackson? Great guy. He's running a Lumineth Realmlords list in the Huracan Temple. He was running the Morbi Kunj as the Manifestation Law. And then he had in his General's Regiment, Avlanor, Alorith Stone Guard, a reinforced unit of Alorith Stone Guard, and then tech lists, 2 Spirits of the Wind, and then a Venari Banner Blade. Tech lists obviously able to be so effective, auto-casting all of the Morbid Conjuration spells, while Alorith is incredibly tanky, especially in the General's Regiment, because the Stone Guard are going to be able to get all of those defensive buffs while also reducing the number of attacks coming into them. So they're just very good. Just excellent army, very solid, but then weirdly incredibly fast, thanks to the Spirits of the Wind. So they're like this indestructible block, and then the little units just move around scoring points. That's how you win Age of Sigmar. Points equals, in this case, congratulations to Spoonie, prizes. Anyway, that's the Warhammer World GT. Backbreaking low tables, but you do get to play in the world of Warhammer. Our next event takes us over to the USA for the High Desert Hammerfall AOS GT 2024. 43 players battled it out in the Elk Lodge in Oregon, which is just absolutely beautiful. Beautiful little place there. So shout out to the Elk Lodge. The event was organized by, let me just go check. It was organized by Benjamin Chamillier. Congratulations to him. So shout out Benjamin. Thanks for being a great TO to your local community. Round of applause for you. Our event and our only 5-0 was won by Benjamin Hosking. And he was running Slaves to Darkness. This isn't Benjamin's first ever GT win. He started to win quite a few events towards the tail end of 3rd edition Age of Sigmar. But his list is a little bit different to what you would normally expect to see from Chosen or Varangard or Be'lakor, and it's arguably got quite a lot of warriors in, because his list is called That's a Lot of Warriors. He's running the God's Wrath Warband battle formation. His manifestation law is the Morbid Conjuration. His General's Regiment is a Chaos Sorcerer Lord and a reinforced unit of Chaos Knights of the Marker Nurgle. And then his last regiment has got a Gaunt Summoner with 3 units of 20 Chaos Warriors with the Mark of Nurgle. That's going to be 60 Chaos Warriors, or, as some people would say, that's a lot of warriors. Mark of Nurgle means that they're -1 to wound. The Chaos Sorcerer Lord is going to be able to give them a 5-up ward save. Also, thanks to the Eye of the Gods, they can also get an additional ward save as well. Obviously, great for holding objectives, being very, very tough and probably unkillable. Great for holding objectives as well, because it's lots of bodies, all with OC1, so it's going to stack up and get really high. And also because they're only 2 wounds apiece as Chaos Warriors, they're going to be very rallyable if they end up not being in combat, which is also really nice as well. And then, thanks to the Gaunt Summoner, you've got all that ability to just throw the unit forward, right, through the Silver Tower and just get some very fast, very quick board control very early. So it's just, yeah, like to quote my friend Ed, it's just sitting on circles and being smelly. And well done to Benjamin for completely paradigm shifting how we're thinking of running Slaves to Darkness, with a new book coming out maybe by the end of the year. Looking at the 4-1s, we've got Stark Pistol with his Stormcast Eternals, Alexander Gonzalez with a Nighthaunt, Christopher Hernandez with his Gloomspike Gits, Jack Grieger with Ogre Moor Tribes, and then Taran Burke with Lumineth Realmlords, and Michael Bernstein with their Seraphon. Let's go look at the actual lists. We can see Stark's Stormcast Eternals list was running the Vanguard Wing battle formation. His manifestation law was the Morbi Kunj. His General's Regiment was Krondis, a unit of Praetors, and then a unit of reinforced Vanguard Paladors with shock hand axes. The chat have been very insistent in making sure I tell you that these guys are insanely good. I'm using the Age of Index website if you'd like to go check it out. These are a unit of 3 models, reinforced up to unit of 6, is going to be 30 health on a 3-up save with a control value of 2 on each one of them, which is pretty good. They move 14 inches and they have run and charge, run and shoot, and retreat and charge, or retreat and shoot. So they are always going to be doing what they want to do, which is pretty good. Move 14 means that they've got a maximum move of like 20 and then still charge. That's a massive threat range. Their bolster on pistols are 2 shots each, but it's probably the shock hand axes you want to talk about. 2 per model. So that means over a unit of 6, you're going to have 12 attacks, 13 with a champ, 3s and 3s, rend 1, but damage 2, but damage 3 on the charge. That's a lot of damage 3 attacks that you can put into stuff. And then the Griff charges themselves got another 3 attacks per model, but they're rend 1, damage 1. So, boom. That is a lot of output on an incredibly fast and an incredibly survivable unit. So that's probably why we saw them do so well. Backed up with what is a very common unit, and I talked about this in previous stat shows as well, those Vanguard Raptors with long strike crossbows, being able to shoot in your opponent's turn and also get +1 to hit, +1 to win, 'cause it's in your general's regiment, is something that should get changed. It should be 2 CP to shoot twice, and you shouldn't be able to get +1 to hit, +1 to wound for shooting units. And then the last regiment is Lord Relictor, and then a unit of Griffhounds, a Prosecutors, and unit of Vigilers. I think the Vigilers are really good because they give out that +1 to hit if they've hit stuff ability. Well done to Stark, great work. Then Alexander Gonzalez running Nighthorn in Deathstalkers, running Lady Alinda, a Dreadblade Harrow, Grimghast Reapers, reinforced unit of Hexwraiths, then Riker the Grim Hailer, 2 reinforced unit of Plaguegeist Revs, and a Khan Wraith. Well done to Alex. Then Christopher Hernandez was running Morbid Conjurer, running a Gloomspite Gits list with a Squigalanch battle formation. His manifestation law was the Morbid Conjuration. His general's regiment was led by a Squig Boss with a Gobblepalooza, and then 2 reinforced Squig Herds, and then 1 normal Squig Herd. And then his other regiment was a Dankold Trog Boss and 18 Rock Guts. So those Rock Guts coming in very good. And then, like we've seen in former lists, we saw Gavin do it first, I think, a couple of months ago, or a month ago. We saw the Squigalanch, instead of running Trog Herd, the Squigalanch actually reinforcing how good the Squig Herd are to make them even more impactful. Well done. Then Jack Giga was running a Ogre Moor Tribes list, and he was running the Prophets of the Gulping God battle formation. His manifestation law was the Morby Kunj. His general's regiment was a Slaughtermaster and a reinforced unit of Iron Guts. And then his other regiment was a Butcher, and then a Gorger Moor Pack, and 2 reinforced unit of Ogre Gluttons for some absolutely smashing damage. And took the Moor Pit and not the Moor Pot for doing all of that extra mortal damage. Taran Burke was running Lumineth Realmlords in the Venari Battle Host battle formation. His manifestation law was the Morby Kunj. His general's regiment was Archmage Teclis, a reinforced unit of Sentinels, 2 units of Dawn Riders. Then his next regiment was led by a Sinari Cathalar, a reinforced unit of Wardens, and 2 other units of Wardens. So a lot of combat potential out of all the Wardens, backed up by Teclis with all of the spell support and all of the additional support you get from the Morbid Conjuration, and then those Sentinels shooting twice, +1 to hit, +1 to it, doing some really solid damage. And then we have Michael Bernstein with a Seraphon list, running the Sunclaw Star Host and the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law. His general's regiment was Slan Starmaster, 2 Hunters of Hauncher with Starstone Bowlers. And like I've said about the other lists, these are just going to get you 12 to 16 points worth of battle tactics for just existing if they never touch your opponent. That's pretty baller for, again, 180 points, similar to Felbats. They probably do it better than Felbats as well. A reinforced unit of Croxigal Warpspawned, a Skink Starseer, another reinforced unit of Croxigal Warpspawned, and 2 units of Raptidon Chargers, which are making a lot of people very happy. But inside this is my favorite unit at the minute, the Regiment of Renown, the Saviors of Cinderfall. I've made a video about that. Go check it out. They're absolutely rough as hell. They are so, so good. Matt Beasley, wonderful human being, running Disciples of Tzeentch in the Zangor Coven. His manifestation law was the Morby Kunj. It's 100% pick rate, I think, at this event so far. His general's regiment is led by Kairos, auto include, with the Blue Horrors, reinforced unit of Skyfires, a smaller unit of Skyfires. Then he had a Zangor Shaman, a smaller unit of Skyfires again, and then 2 reinforced blocks of Zangors. We talked about the output that you can bring out from this army thanks to the Zangor, and then we've also seen pure Skyfire builds as well. The Skyfire is really fast for doing battle tactics. The ability to do battle tactics is reinforced by Kairos, and then you've got loads of push, being able to grab objectives thanks to Zangor. Excellent build and a great time. Hope everyone at the event had a good time. What a wonderful group of people. Love to go there, especially the Elk Lodge. Hope you had a good time. Our next event takes us to Straya. To New South Wales, where we've got 43 people playing at Port Plunder. And while it's called Port Plunder, it doesn't necessarily look like a place pirates would pitch up in the Westport Club. However, all 43 players battled it out, and we did get 2 people on 5 O's. Peter Bates with his Seraphon was running the Shadow Strike Star Host battle formation with the Manifestation Lord, the Morbi Kunj. Its General's Regiment was a Slant Star Master and a reinforced unit of Kroxigor, and then a small unit of Raptidon Hunters. Then, the next regiment was led by a Saurus Scar Veteran on Carnosaur, a reinforced unit of Saurus Warriors. A Skink Star Priest led the next regiment with 2 units of Raptidon Chargers and a unit of Raptidon Hunters. And that is the whole list. This is quite interesting. A bunch of MSU builds with a really good unit, the Saurus Warriors, for holding and taking objectives. And they are a really good hammer anvil kind of bruiser unit. They're not chosen, but they're kind of like that role that you can see them. They can survive and do damage. And the Scar Vet to back them up. And then the Kroxigor Warpspawn are definitely a hammer unit that just go in and smash stuff. And the Slang can bring everything back with obviously its fantastic spell support being a 3-cast wizard. Jacob Mears with Blades of Khorne with a 5-0. Let's go, chat. Running the Murder Host battle formation with the Judgments of Khorne. Scarbrand leading the General's Regiment with a small unit of Bloodletters. Then the next regiment was leading a Bloodthirster of Unfettered Fury, 3 units of Fleshhounds, and then the next regiment was a Slaughter Priest and 3 units of Claws of Karanak. It's quite interesting. Again, this is a multiple small units build, running on and grabbing objectives, fighting pretty well. For what they are, very small, cheap 100-point units, but ultimately just creating a lot of board control and presence so that the Bloodthirster and Unfettered Fury and also Scarbrand can get into, all the Bloodletters can all get into the enemy unit. In addition, they give up a lot of blood ties when they do eventually all start getting wiped out, which means when that Bloodthirster goes down, very survivable, the Bloodthirsters, but when they do eventually go down, you're going to have the blood tie to bring that Bloodthirster back in the mid to late game, which can be fairly swingy and change the shape of the game. So actually, cool list. Love to see that. I think maybe we're starting to see Gen 2 of what Khorne is doing. Right, we're going to go look at the 4-1s now, and we've got some interesting choices. Pu Hin Ho, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, is running Lumineth Realmlords in the Huracan Temple with the Morbi Kunj. His General's Regiment was Severith with 2 Huracan Spirits of the Wind and a unit of Huracan Wind Chargers, Scenario Caligrave, a unit of Riverblades, and then a unit of Law Seeker and another unit of Riverblades. And the big news here is no Sentinels, so congratulations. And then Mitch Bug was running Ogre Moor Tribes in the Prophets of the Gulping God battle formation with the Kronspine Incarnate Manifestation Law. General's Regiment was a Slaughtermaster, reinforced unit of Iron Guts, a unit of Ogre Gluttons that's been reinforced as well. Then a Butcher, a Gorger Moorpack, and another unit of Ogre Gluttons. And the last regiment was a Tyrant and 2 Frost Sabers. Okay, well done to Mitch. That's cool. Nice to see Ogres doing well. We got 2 Sylvaneth in the 4-1. Henry Wagner was running Morbi Kunj as a Manifestation Law. His General's Regiment was a Lariel with a reinforced unit of Colonel Hunters with Great Bows, doing the same job that you see Sentinels and Skyfires and Bliss Barbs do. Being in the General's Regiment, get all their shots, +1 to hit, +1 to wound. I've used this unit myself. I would probably say it's the unit that won me most of my games. Belthanos, 2 units of Gossipid Archers for doing tactics, and a unit of Tree Revs, and then a Warsong Revenant in there as well. Scott Batchelor running Gloomspike Gits. He was running a Trogherd battle formation with the Dank Manifestations, with Scragrot, a reinforced unit of Fell Waters, 2 reinforced unit of Rock Guts, so mixing up a bit there. Then Trug, a Dankhold Trog Boss, and the Gobberpalooza in there. So Gobberpalooza really good for shutting down attacks, -1 to hit bubble, making it so that then if you're in the General's Regiment, you can make it so that, but they're not going to be the General's Regiment. Interesting. Anyway, okay, very cool. And then we have Chris Murphy with his other Sylvaneth list. This is using the Outcast battle formation with the Morbi Kunj. His General's Regiment was a Warsong Revenant, a reinforced unit of Colonel Hunters with Scythes, a Branch Witch, a reinforced unit of Colonel Hunters with Scythes, a unit of Tree Revs, and their Belthanos, and 3 units of Gossipid Archers, which I think is really fun, because I think Gossipids are actually very good. And go for a non-Alariel build is pretty brave, but, it's obviously worked out really well for him on the 4-1, so well done. And then James Landis with Stormcast Eternals was running a Vanguard Wing with Manifestations of the Storm, and then Lord Commander Bastian Carthalos, a unit of Aether Wings, Dracothian Guard Fulminators, Dracothian Guard Tempestors, unit of Vanguard Raptors with Long Strike Crossbows that's been reinforced, a Lord Relictor, 2 units of Prosecutors, and then a Knight Arcanum and a unit of Liberators as well. Some very interesting lists in there. It's nice to see Sylvaneth doing well. Nice to see Ogres up there. And very nice to see Blades of Khorne getting a 5-0. Our next event was officially endorsed and sponsored by Limmy, as you can see here. This is the Broken Realms CGG event that happened at Common Ground in Stirling in Scotland. If you get the opportunity to go there, it's a wonderful place with a really fantastic community, and they have an amazing fish and chip shop across the road called Vincenzio's, which is absolutely worth going to if you want a couple of large chips for $7.50. So if we take a look at the event results, you'll see that 34 players battled it out. And in our top spot, we had the brilliant William Cruikshanks, with his Lumineth Realmlords. He was running the Hurricane Temple. His general was a Hurricane Wind Mage with a Spirit of the Wind and then 10 Wind Chargers. He had a Cenari Caligrave leading another regiment with a unit of 10 River Blades. Then he had the Saviors of Cinderfall Regiment of Renown, which we covered before. Go check out the video. And then he had 4 different auxiliary units, including a unit of 20 Sentinels, 2 units of 10 River Blades, and a unit of Wind Chargers. And is the second person ever to get a 5-0 with auxiliary units. So he should be proud of himself, and was running the Manifestation Law Morby Cunge. So everything we've said about Lumineth up until this point, shoot, fight, move, do everything else, plus add Callous and Toll for that additional punch, is brilliant. Well done to William for being an absolute superstar. Right, let's go look at the 4-1s. And you can see that we've got Paul Duca with Nighthorn, Reese Fraser with Heat Slanesh, Nate Watson with Zinch, Lee Martin with Nighthorn, and Lewis Watson with Iron Jaws. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do Iron Jaws. We're going to start with Iron Jaws first. He's running Crag Boss in Iron Jaws Brawl as the battle formation. His Crag Nos or / Crag Boss and 5 Brutes is in his regiment, but he's got an incredibly cool conversion here. You can see it. It's a couple of big pigs, probably the only thing they're useful for. And he also won Best Painted with that. Look how fantastic that looks, right? Brilliant work there. Congratulations to him. He's also got I think he's got a War Chanter and another unit of 10 Brutes. So he's got Kragnos, 5 Brutes, a War Chanter, 10 Brutes, a Weird Knob Shaman and 3 Gore Grunters, and then a Maw Grunter with a Hacking Crew, and he's run the Kronspine Incarnate, and he got a 4-1. Iron Jaws fans rejoice. There is a way to do it. You just got to take a non-Iron Jaws unit in Kragnos, and well done to him. Paul Duca got a 4-1 with Nighthorn in Deathstalkers, Reikenor the Grimhailer, Dreadblade Harrows, and then 3 reinforced unit of Hexwraiths. His other regiment was a Night Shroud on Ethereal Steeds with another Dreadblade Harrow, and then 2 unreinforced unit of Hexwraiths, taking it to 40 Hexwraiths. Reese Fraser, absolute cutie, was running a Seeker Cavalcade Hedonites Slanesh list with the Aetherwrought Machineries as a Manifestation Law. His general's regiment was Shalaxi, a reinforced unit of Bliss Barb Archers, and then 2 units of Blessed Barb Archers. Then the Keeper of Secrets, a unit of Fiends, and a reinforced unit of Slickblade Seekers. Very cool. Nice to see them in there as well. It's kind of odd. Like, the better units in the Slanesh book are the non-demon units. So the Keeper is really being bought to fight just as its own wicked, monstrous piece versus reinforcing the army with being able to bring models back from the dead. The Shalaxi obviously giving that fight twice and being great as well. Nate Watson running that Disciples of Zinch list. Kara's Fate Weaver, 6 Skyfires, 6 Skyfires, Chaos Spawn Zinch for the Spell Law. Zangor Shaman, 3 Skyfires, 3 Skyfires, and 20 Zangor. It looks like Zangor are the thing right now in Zinch. And then Lee Martin with Reikenor the Grimhailer in in Deathstalker's battle formation. His general is Reikenor the Grimhailer. Then Dreadblade Harrows, both reinforced. 2 reinforced units, Hexwraiths, Lord Executioner, and a reinforced unit, a Blade Guys Revenants. Get the chance to go up to Scotland or hang out with the Scottish community. You should. They're really, really great people, and you'll have a great time. Our next event takes place in England. It's called Fall to Darkness, and it's Chapter 3. When will the book end? Or is it just the beginning? Thank you for the creative license there. Anyway, 30 players battled it out at Fall to Darkness, and our top spot, 5-0, was Phil Sprignall with Caradron Overlords. He was running a General's Regiment with Brock Grungson, and then he was running the Aether Runners battle formation, I should say. His General's Regiment was Brock Grungson. He had an Arcanaut Frigate, a unit of Thunderers, and then his next regiment was led by an Admiral with a Frigate, and then 2 units of reinforced Skywardens. Being only our 2nd KO win at the moment, it's pretty impressive. Especially seeing as our first 4-1 place as the only other person we've seen get a KO win with Matt Gouldsborough. with his Lumineth Realmlords, running a Hurricane Temple. He was running Techless, a unit of Wind Chargers, and a reinforced unit of Sentinels. And then his next unit was a Wind Mage with 2 Spirits of the Wind and a unit of River Blades, and then running the Morbid Conjuration manifestation. So similar list to the ones we've seen. Hazel Moon running Gloomspite Gits was running a Squiggalanch with a General's Regiment being Squig Boss with an Asher Squig, reinforced unit of Squig Herd times 2 and a Squig Herd, and then a Dankhold Trog Boss and 18 Rock Guts in there as well. Then we have Dom, Russell Taylor with Seraphon running the Shadow Strike Star Host with a Slan Star Master, a reinforced unit Croxgore, a unit of Agrodon Lancers, a reinforced unit of Croxgore Warp Spawned, and then the Skink Starseer, a unit of Hunter's Hauncher with Starseer and Bowlers, and then 2 units of Raptidon Chargers. Absolutely cool. Everything we said about this army so far, Warp Spawn, great at fighting. The little units for grabbing objectives, Slan, obviously pretty important in there. And finally, Dom Stonebridge with his Stormcast Eternals list, running the Lightning Echelon Battle Formation, running Karazai, a unit of Praetors, a Lord Celestin on Star Drake with a Knight Velexa, and then Ynastra, a unit of Prosecutors, a unit of Vigilers, and then a Knight Arcanum for a big hero hammer smash. An absolutely decked field there of people doing really well with some absolutely savage lists. Congratulations to everyone at that event. Our next event takes us over to Finland for the Tamp GT 2024, being held in the heart of Finland, and they had a pretty impressive 30 players battling it out. Those 30 players, the winner was Juicy Salonon. Definitely said that wrong. Maybe Husi Salonon. I apologize. Anyway, he's running Gloomspite Gits, and unsurprisingly, pretty out there Gloomspite Gits list, running the Trog Herd Battle Formation with the Dank manifestations. He had a Dankhold Trog Boss, and then 18 Rock Guts, and then he had Trug and 2 units of Boing Grot Bounders and the Gobberpalooza. So, absolutely dynamite. Congratulations to Juicy. In the 4-1 section, we have Antu with Slaves to Darkness, Tommy Herm with Slaves to Darkness, Matty Kranz with Daughters of Cain, Piatri, I'm so sorry, with Cities of Sigmar as well in the 4-1 section. Antu's list is Slaves to Darkness in the Godswrath Warband with Archeon the Everchosen, unit Chaos Furies, 2 units of Fell Riders, a Raptorix, a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and Chosen. Oh my God, it's the same list that we saw Spoonie win with. Wow, this has to be the big news of the weekend. Double Archeon 5-0 in Finland and England. Anywhere that ends with land is susceptible to an Archeon. Whoa. Okay. Then Tommy Herm with their Slaves to Darkness list was running Be'lakor and 5 Chaos Knights and Mark of Nurgle, a Demon Prince with the Mark of Nurgle, and 2 units of Chaos Furies. Again, those units for doing battle tactics, I'm going to keep pointing them out. Chaos Sorcerer Lord, 10 Chosen, 10 Chaos Warriors with the Mark of Nurgle. So those Chaos Chosen, very popular in a minute, actually becoming a little bit more popular than Varangard, it seems, which is quite interesting. Matty Kranz was running Marathi Kane in the Scath Coven battle formation. And then 2 units of Heart Renders, again, those 2 units to score your battle tactics. It's those 2 units. It's Fellbats. That's the little trick in the game right now. Then a unit of Bloodstalkers, a unit of 10 Bloodstalkers. Then the Melisate Ironscale leading 2 more units of Blood Sisters with the Morbicunge battle formation. Nice to see Daughters of Cain up there. Pietra was running a Cities of Sigmar list in the battle formation Fortress City Defenders, with a Free Guild Marshal on Griffin and 10 Cavaliers, then a Rune Lord and 20 Hammerers, a Rune Lord and 20 Hammerers, a Sorceress and 20 Executioners, and 10 more Executioners. And then the Kronspine Incarnate Manifestation Lord. And while I'm personally excited about cities doing well, I personally wouldn't go out there, even though they're really good right now, and buy the Hammerers. We don't know when the Cities of Sigmar book is coming out, but I'm assuming when they do, the Hammerers are going to get taken out of the book. But right now, they're absolutely brilliant. Hope everyone had a really good time in Finland. Our next event is taking place in the USA in Maine. Most importantly, in Maine State Park. Now, you're going to be asking yourself, in a park, how does that work? Well, very much like the upcoming Age of Sigmar World Team Championships, lots of camping was available for attendees because at this event, when you went and attended, you paid your money and it paid $20 of your event ticket was for the camping fees because you could go camp. Food was not available. That was available from Johnny's Taco Truck. But let me tell you, that's a pretty cool event. Everyone go camp, play some games, have a laugh. Absolutely brilliant. So that event was taking place in Maine, like I said, and had 22 players for the Lemoyne Last Stand 7. The event was won by Ryan Muskoff with his Nighthaunt list. He was running the Deathstalker's Battle Formation and the Morby Kunj Manifestation Law with Lady Elenda, 2 units of Dreadscythe Harridans that had been reinforced, and a reinforced unit of Hexwraiths, which is quite different, and a smaller unit of Hexwraiths. Then Reikenor the Grim Hailer, unit of Chain Gas, and a unit of Dreadblade Harrows, and a Lord Executioner in that list as well. And then our only 4-1 was the absolutely brilliant Miles Koverick with his Blades of Khorne, seeing them up there again in the Khorne Legion. And then he was running the Judgments of Khorne, and his general's regiment was Slaughter Priest and a unit of Skull Reapers that had been reinforced, a Bloodthirster from Infected Fury, a reinforced unit of Bloodletters, a unit of Fleshhounds, and then a Bloodstoker, unit of Chaos Warriors, and the Claws of Karanak. Sounds like a really fun time at this space, all being located here. This is the event location, and I think everyone had a really good time. So go out, and if you get the chance, I'm booking now for Lemoyne 8. That's what I'm doing. So I'm excited to go to Maine. I've heard it's a really electric place. So let's go. Our next event takes us over to Germany, to Die Würfelgüter, which is the Dice Gods in German, the Dice Gods, Die Würfelgüter, which is now my new favorite thing that I'm going to say whenever I fail my dice. I'm like, I've been cursed by Die Würfelgüter. But it's a gaming store located in Germany, and you should go check it out. And the event was organized by Die Würfelgüter. Going to take as many opportunities as possible, and had 20 players battling it out to be the champions. And the champions of Die Würfelgüter was Daniel Pommer, who was able to get 4 wins and a draw, and Wipo Winkelhan, who was able to get 4 wins and a draw as well. Daniel Pommer took Lumineth Realmlords, and he was running a Hurricane Temple, and his general was a Hurricane Wind Mage with 10 wind charges and a Spirit of the Wind. And then he had Severith, and then 2 units of 10 wind charges as well, with another Spirit of the Wind. So a full Hurricane Temple, very thematic, everything being very fast, and he was also took the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law as well. The Wipo was running a Slaves to Darkness God's Wrath Warband with the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law, with Be'lakor, unit Chaos Furies, a reinforced unit of Fell Riders, not a reinforced unit, normal unit of Fell Riders, a unit of Raptorix, and a reinforced unit of Varangard with a Mark of Khorne, a reinforced unit of Chaos Chosen with a Mark of Nurgle, was in the Chaos Sorcerer Lords regiment as well. So again, those Raptorix and those Fell Riders fulfilling that role of scoring battle tactics, while those major pieces like the Varangard and Chosen go and smash stuff. And in the 4-1 section, Colin was taking his Cruel Boys, and he was running the Lightfinger battle formation with a Killer Boss and Corpse Ripper Vulture, 3 units of 7 Cruel Boys Monster Killers. Then he had a Breaker Boss of Mybrute Troggoth, 20 Gut Rippers, and 2 Beast Skewer Killbows. And then he had a Swamp Caller Shaman, another unit of Monster Killers, and then 6 Bolt Boys, all with the Morby Kunj as well. But absolutely brilliant. Great lists all round. Well done to everyone at Die Würfelgüter. And it's a place I'm going to visit very soon. And if you do have any Die Würfelgüter merch, please do let me know. I would immediately be buying myself a t-shirt, or at least a Die Würfelgüter hat. Our next event takes place in Ireland for the Irish GT 2024. Had 19 players battling it out. Pretty excitingly, in first place is my good friend and an absolute brilliant human being, is Colin Cochrane. He's been playing competitive Age of Sigmar on the top tables representing Ireland for representing the Irish for, 7 years. So he's just a consummate general and is excellent and brilliant as well. And also is running a really unique Stormcast list. He's running Sentinels of Black Citadels with the Manifestations of the Storms, so Stormcast Manifestation Law. His general's regiment was a Knight Zephyros and a reinforced unit of Vanguard Raptors with long-strike crossbows. But his next regiment has a Knight Arcanum with a reinforced unit of Vanquishers, another reinforced unit of Vanquishers. Then his general's regiment is a Lord Relictor with 2 minimum units of Prosecutors, excellent for doing those battle tactics, like I've said previously. And then a unit of Reclusians, which you never see, ever, in lists, which is fun. He's been representing Northern Ireland, but like the Irish. And then He's also bringing the Regiment Renown, the Saviors of Cinderfall, with Callus and Toll in there as well. So they're brilliant as well, obviously. Just really unique, especially the Reclusians. Prosecutors you see a bit, Relicta you see a bit as well, Vanquishers as well. But it seems to be a lot of breadth in that Stormcast book. We're seeing the Paladors, a bunch of other stuff. So that's nice to see, definitely. And then our 4-1 category, we've got Ethan in 4-1 category. He is running Lumineth Realmlords in the Hurricane Temple. He's got Severith, a Hurricane Spirit of the Wind, and then a reinforced unit of Wind Chargers, and then a Venari Lord Regent with a reinforced unit of Dawn Riders, a Ballista, and then a unit of Wardens, and then the Sonari Caligrave. And also in the 4-1 category, we've got Johnny Kelly with Flesh Eater Courts on the big submarine, running the Lords of the Manor battle formation with the Morbid Conjuration Manifestation Law, and then Usharan and a unit of Crypt Flayers in the General's Regiment, and a Boran Gore Warden, a unit of Morbeg Knights and a Crypt Ghoul. And then the Regiment Renown is the Lich's Hand with Arcan the Black, Morghast Archai, and a unit of Morghast Harbingers in this list as well. So a Regiment of Renown in there. Super fun to see. Congratulations to Johnny, and congratulations to everyone at the Irish GT. Our next event was taking place in China. It was the AOS. Really weirdly, the AOS 15 players battling it out. The event still says it's ongoing in BCP, so we're not going to be able to review it, unfortunately. But shout out to, this is like, we've had constant events happening in China now over the past couple of years. But really weirdly, the AOS event, you can see it written down here, is actually called in Chinese the Battle for Barry's Bravery Brew, which is crazy because that's also what the next event is called, but in English, which is wild. So amazing. But congratulations to all the people in China battling it out in the Age of Sigmar tables. Hope you're having a great time. In an actual massive flip, the event has just finished on BCP, so we are going to be able to cover the event in China, which their event poster does seem to be wrong, and it does seem to say that it is the AOS World Championship Qualifier East China Division in Shanghai Station, happening at Sanling Games. It's being located in Shanghai, the Midwest of Shanghai, I'm pretty certain, but obviously you can't Google Maps China, and looking at our roster, because we did have 15 players battling it out, it seems that Croak Seraphon, can you believe he was called that when he was born, was able to win the event with his Seraphon list. He was running a Shadow Strike Star Host with a Slan Star Master, a reinforced unit of Agrodon Lancers, a unit of Hunters of Haunchy with Starstone Bowlers, a unit of Raptidon Hunters, and a unit of Ripperdactyls, which is fun. And then a Skink Starseer, and then a reinforced unit of Raptidon Chargers, reinforced Raptidon Chargers, and a reinforced unit of Ripperdactyls. And I've talked about the Raptidon Chargers previously, doing almost the same level of output as you'll see on Agrodon Lancers, but just being so much cheaper, and obviously being cavalry with plus damage on the charge. Incredibly effective. In second place, I'm afraid I don't know how to announce their name, but congratulations to them with Nighthorn. I think that's because I don't read Chinese. With Nighthorn, and they were running, oh wait, here we go, there's a name. Hao Yufeng was running, I reckon I can do this. He was running Lady Alinda, a reinforced unit of a reinforced unit of, he was running 2 reinforced units of, I know what this is. What's 300 points? Dreadscythe Harridans? Dreadscythe Harridans? Yes. A unit of reinforced unit of Hex Wraiths, and then a reinforced unit. I don't know. Anyway, he's running some Nighthorn. I tried to do it from just the points. You can just do it from the points, but I can't remember the units. That's fine. And then in third place in the 4-1 category, it was DeQueng Li with his Stormcast Eternals, was running the Lightning Echelon and the Manifestation Law of Primal Energy, was Krondis, and 2 minimum units of Vanguard Raptors long strike crossbows, and a unit of Vanquishers. And then his other regiment was Karazai, a non-reinforced unit of Dracothian Guard Concussors, unit of Praetors, and a unit of Vindicators. So 2 giant dragons. That's super cool. And that is all of our 4-1s. I do want to shout out, though, in 4th place, Banana Big, who was running OCR Bone Reapers. I have been keeping track of his Age of Sigmar career a lot. And I'm a big fan of Banana Big, so shout out to him and everyone playing in China. The last event was an event that I ran called the Battle for Barry's Bravery Brew, being held here at the TSN Arena. And if you haven't listened this far and you are based in the UK, we have a bunch of Age of Sigmar events coming up over the next few months. You can check them out on the TSN Arena Eventbrite. You should go check it out because there's some really cool ones, especially a bunch over Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, a bunch of one-dayers if you want to come up to the arena and play. Anyway, this weekend we had 12 players and it was just an amazing crowd. Romain was able to take out the event. He's French, but lives in the south, and he was running Lumineth Realmlords in the Venari Battle Host, and he had a Manifestation Lord with the Morbi Kunj. He had a Venari Lord region, and it's a beautiful army as well. 20 Sentinels, 2 reinforced unit of Dawn Riders, a Caligrave, a unit of Blade Lords that's been reinforced, and a unit of River Blades. So congratulations to him. He was also a treasure all weekend. Played really well, played really fair, and was excellent. In the 4-1 category, we've only got one. Dan Scott, again, Lumineth Realmlords, running an Alarith Temple with a Manifestation Lord, Kronspine Incarnate, with Avalanor, a reinforced unit of Stone Guard, Severith, a Spirit of the Wind, and a small unit of Wind Chargers, then a Stone Mage, a reinforced unit of Stone Guard, and a unit of River Blades. They also battled it out, obviously, to be the best Lumineth player. They had to play each other, and Romain was able to take it out. I want to do a special shout out for my friend David Williams in the 3 wins and a draw section. I normally don't talk about those, but he's never been able to do so well at an event, 3 wins and a draw. And how did he do it? Well, he's running Gloomspike Gits. He was running the Dank Manifestations, and he had a Dank Hold Trog Boss, and he had 18 Rot Guts, and then Trug, Gobblepalooza, Ripper Snarlfangs, and some Spider Riders, which is brilliant. So it just turns out if you'd like to do a little bit better, then you just take 18 Rot Guts and you'll have a great time. Which is absolutely excellent. And also a special shout out to my friend Aidan Clark, who's trying really hard, but just couldn't make it work this time around. Anyway, that is it for the event results from this weekend. And I mean, number one, I think I've read 8 million Lumineth lists. But if we move those to the side, just push them to the side because they kind of need to be, then we move over and we start talking about the fact that I think Archeon is a big kind of shout out from this weekend. That's really fun. Some very different Stormcast lists as well. That's the other shout out I'm going to put out from this weekend. I think Archeon doing well at 2 different events. Very interesting. And then if we flip it over and we start talking about all those Stormcast units, which we're seeing play, like the Reclusians and the Paladors doing some really interesting stuff. And then I really enjoyed the big warrior list as well, which was very interesting and very cool. So yes, we have a very dominant army in the meta right now, which is very scary, and it ties into the 2 things which Games Workshop should adjust about all armies, which is General's Regiment shouldn't get +1 to hit, +1 to wound on shooting units, and you shouldn't get the ability to fire twice for 1 CP, or fire in your opponent's turn. It should be 2 CP. If you fix those 2 things, already start to address loads of units, but the Wind Spirits are their own personal problem that are Lumineth's problem in of themselves. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the results. Don't forget, none of you have really played, okay? None of you have really played. Over 50%, probably it's pushing more towards the 80% if you bring in under 20 games, have not played enough games to ever be making sweeping statements about the game. So go out there and play the game. Learn how to play, have a good time, get on the tabletops and enjoy playing. Thank you for listening. Please support me on Patreon. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you all soon. Thanks very much.